Hey, what's up? This is Rodney the Voice, and I'm back. And I just wanted to talk about Big Brother, Polly's entrance into the jury house. So Polly was voted out, and so they went to the house to see who was going to be the next person walking into the home. Davon, Bridget, and Zakia, they're already part of the jury. So they're, waiting, anticipating who's going to be next, and basically, it's Polly. Polly walks in, and when I tell you Zakia showed no love at all, like no love. Davon and Bridget were pretty much ecstatic, That's who they wanted to see, and that's who they got. I, I don't even know where to start at, y'all, just because of the simple fact that there has to be security or some type of production in that home, because there's no way the tension that was in that house, the argument that happened between Zakia and Polly, that's not something that you could just go to sleep and just be like, okay, I'm okay being in this house. When I tell you that Polly, first of all, is crazy. When I tell you Polly was pissed, and the funniest thing about the whole situation was Davon did not give a fuck about Polly. What Polly needs to realize is Davon is not that girl. Davon is not going to be Zakia. She's not going to be Michelle. She's not going to sit there and cry. She's going to argue with your ass back and forth. And just like she told him, you need to calm down, because, girl, I'm a grown woman and you're not going to talk to me like that. Those are her exact words. That's basically what he told her. And he tried to, that's what she told him. And he tried to come back and say something. And she was like, you just need to calm down. Like, Davon is not that girl, Polly. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. Baby, that's not what you want. And she done let your ass know. You don't remember seeing Davon get into an argument with Clay last year? Davon don't give a fuck. So anyways, they start to talk, and Polly is getting upset. He says he's not upset, but baby, that baby was shaking. When I tell you Polly was shaking. When I tell you Polly was shaking the whole time. Just shaking. Just shaking like an earthquake. When I tell you Polly's nerves were so bad, he was so pissed off. And the best thing about it was that Davon and Bridget really didn't give a fuck about him being pissed off. They would say little shit to piss him off even more. And that was the funniest thing about it. Zakia and Polly eventually get into an argument. Now, I will say this much. As much as I don't like Polly with his... When I say you Polly fine than a motherfucker, baby, Polly is crazy, but Polly is fine. That Polly is fine, baby. And that's what the fucking issue is. But I'll get into that later. So anyways, Polly and Zakia get into an argument. He's steady lying for no reason. Polly, you knew Zakia was going home. You the one who threw her name out there in the first place. For you to still sit here and lie and say that you didn't know that she was going home, knowing damn well you did, knowing damn well that the game is pretty much over. Before they found that they had a chance to go back to the house. But the game is pretty much over for y'all. So at this point, you can just pretty much be truthful. She's going to see it anyways, unless you're just trying to make her stay at the house, as conflict as free as possible. So, they start to argue back and forth, and even they let it be known that she was going to vote for Polly until she found out how he really was. Like, someone like Polly who, just like Bridget said, he disrespects Zakia, he disrespects the women of an entire state, he talks to people crazy, he's a big bully, he comes across as a woman beater, he doesn't respect anyone, he think he runs the world, he has this cocky thing about him that is just not likable. Sometimes, people can be cocky and it's like, oh, he's cocky, I like it. But then some people can come across as cocky, it's like, he's a fucking asshole. And because Polly already had all those strikes against him, it doesn't make it any better when you come across as, oh, I'm this cocky. Just like Davon told him, baby, we here to humble your ass. You need to come down a couple of notches. So anyways, with that being said, I will say, Zakia was wrong for calling Polly out of his name. I understand you're upset, Zakiya. But at the end of the day, Zakiya, you had some blame in this too. You are not some little innocent girl. You are a grown-ass woman who decided to continuously mess around and have unprotected sex with a stranger. That's what it comes down to. No one put a gun to your head. No one put a knife to your throat. You, as a grown woman, you as an adult, you chose to engage with Paulie. And come to find out, Paulie is really an asshole. Even things that were right in front of your face, you chose to ignore. When he disrespected Natalie, when he got into arguments with people in the house, when he made you cry 2 and 3 and 4 times, and didn't give a fuck about you crying. Those things are right there in front of your face, and you chose to ignore them. And now you're upset because more than likely you're in the house with Davon, and Davon just like she's been putting in your ear when you first walked in. Like, girl, how can you honestly sit here and not see that he didn't even use a veto on you? At least, especially with the other couples, you know for a fact that they had been James and Natalie or Corey and Nicole. You really think they want to use that fucking veto to save their showmans? Hell yeah, they would have. So, you know, Zakiya, she gets mad. She starts to call him a bitch, and you're a bitch, and you're a bitch. Now, if Paulie had every right to call her a bitch back. Because at the end of the day, if you're calling somebody out of their name, they have every right to call you back out of yours. If you don't want to be called a bitch, don't call a bitch. It's just like if you don't want me to hit you, don't hit me. If you don't want to get popped, then bitch, don't pop me because I'm going to pop your ass back. So anyways, Zakiya, you know, they get into an argument and she walks off and she's still calling him bitches and all types of stuff. And I'm just like, girl, you need to calm down because at this point, I understand you're upset and there's nothing wrong with being upset, but to the point where you start being just really outright just disrespectful to the point where like you're calling people out their names, that wasn't cool to me. So anyways, they go back into the game and they show clips from the house. They show clips into the house. Julie's talking. So they go back into the house, I guess like a couple of days later or a day after, and they're all sitting around the table drinking coffee. I think it was some liquor in some of them cups, girl. When I tell you that motherfucking Zakiya body is together, that bitch was standing up there with a cover up around her waist with a bikini top on. That bitch body is sickening. Ooh, that body is together. I will say that much, even though she dumb as hell. But that body is together. So they're talking, and you know, Paulie lets it be known that they have not said one word to each other, but he will respect the fact that she doesn't really want to deal with him. He ain't got no choice because at the end of the day, this is the thing with people like Paulie. He does not see his wrong. He thinks that he didn't do anything wrong. And when you come from a family like Paulie, if he says shit like, oh, my sister, I'll get my sister to beat your ass. He told one of the girls, I think Michelle or Bridget or somebody that in the house, I'll get my sister to beat your ass. When you have your father and your brother, Cody, what's his name? Cody with his fine ass. Oof. Arguing with people on social media, you know, Twitter, about him. At the end of the day, I understand that's your brother, but the truth of the matter is right and wrong is wrong. And if that was my brother on national TV acting like a fucking asshole, I would not be defending him. That's one thing I don't do. That's one thing my family don't do. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Now I can see if you are on TV acting like a gentleman, playing the game and lying, you know, doing certain stuff in the game that, okay, it could be acceptable. But when you start disrespecting people and having people crying and, you know, acting like an asshole and looking like you're going to beat somebody's ass, like, girl, you need to... No, I'm not going to defend that. I'm not defending those actions. Not one time. So anyways, he basically lets it be known that they haven't spoken a word to each other. Then they get the letter letting them know that they're going to go back, be able to go back into the jury house. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. The whole interaction between him and the other 3 ladies in the house. And, you know, and just like Bridget said, like, I will never respect a man like you. You know, it has nothing to do, you know, he wanted to call them brats and immature. No, they're not bratty. At the end of the day, just like Bridget said, we're still enjoying the game. Like, even though you're out of the game, you're still part of the game. You still have to choose a winner. You're still going to have to converse and come up with who you feel as though deserves the money. So, yeah, y'all are not in the house. And, you know, at the end of the day, Girl, Polly, girl, you were mad. You were mad because Davon didn't give a fuck about your feelings. She didn't give a fuck that you was being pissed off, and she was handling your ass. That's what it came down to. That's what it came down to. And all you can do is sit there and do this the whole time. Girl, when I tell you, Polly, you know, Polly let it be known that he has a therapist, and I fully believe in therapists. 100%, I believe that if you can afford a therapist, you should have one. But baby, that Polly should never be on reality TV again because clearly his nerves are not built for reality TV. I talk about my nerves being bad for reality TV. My nerves are not bad to the point where I would be shaking and crying when I see butterflies and shit. You know. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I gotta go to the gym. But I'm trying to get this body together. Look at these. I'm starting to work back. You really can't tell because I just started going back a little bit to the gym. Girl, I'm trying to get this body back together. I've gained so much weight, y'all. It's sad. But I'm about to get this body back together. Oof. Okay.